I had a friend, his parents, they were exposed to it because they all work in Market Basket. They work, um, the mom, and him and his two brothers both work at Market Basket. And she she was showing all the symptoms, shortness of breath, coughing. Um, she was showing all the symptoms. And so went to call her doctor. Her doctor said that she couldn't get approved initially and that the insurance wouldn't cover it. So they were trying to charge her $300 for her test, which is utterly ridiculous. And I won't rant about it because I already did, but the fact that in this country during a pandemic, they're not going to test you because the insurance won't cover you. That just shows how ridiculous the healthcare system is. The fact that during a pandemic, granted, these things happen once every 100 years, you can't get tested to see if you have the virus because you don't have insurance. You can't just give it away for free. Just a test.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It's like kind of funny how bad it is.
Honestly, I'm at this point where I fucking hate this country. There's so many things wrong with this country. So many things wrong with this country.
This country.
Whether it's healthcare, student loans, systematic oppression, you name it. There are so many things wrong with this country. And the fact that some people can sit up there with a straight face and say that this country is the best country in the world, oh, blasphemy. Utter blasphemy. Now, I don't know if it's just my anger speaking, probably a little bit, but this country is by no means perfect. There's so many flaws at this point. Our politicians fucking suck. Our president fucking sucks. Our healthcare sucks. Student loans suck. Everything.
You a little bit.
Huh?
Can I disagree with you a little bit?
No. No.
Okay, well, I'm going to.
You can't disagree with me whatsoever.
I think that, yeah, this country has a lot of problems, but it doesn't like other countries are have their own problems too. And for us, it seems easy to like look at all the problems and be like, yeah, this country is just horrible. But I think like a better mindset is like, okay, we'll fix them. Like these problems are fixable. I think that actually we're moving in the right direction in many ways. Like in some ways, obviously not, but in many ways, like people are becoming more progressive. We'll see with this next election, but the left is becoming more progressive. Things like healthcare for all are seeming more normal and more mainstream than when literally 5 years ago that was an extremely unrealistic and kind of crazy ideal to hope for. So I think we're gonna get there. I don't think this country sucks. Like I think if you compare it to other countries, like we live pretty well. Yeah, we have some problems. We definitely do. But I don't think the United States of America is a bad country.
Let me rephrase that. The country itself doesn't suck. There's lots of beauty, lots of beautiful accomplishments. The country as a whole probably doesn't suck, but the current state sucks. We're in a really shitty time. And that goes for everybody. But it's frustrating. It's like there's a sketch by John Oliver on his show where he talks about all these things wrong with the country, and I think this is during the Charlottesville protests. Talks about how our country is just really stupid, but it's beautiful. So the way he ends his show is he plays All Star by Smash Mouth, but he plays it in like a choir. He's like, this is kind of this. They should change this to be the national anthem because it kind of embodies America. So fucking stupid, but also so beautiful. So it's just kind of reminds me of that when I'm ranting about it.
True. So when you're older, you told me you wanted to like have a podcast and you kind of want to keep doing this, but do you want to get involved in politics at all? Because you seem like you care a lot.
I'm more like social change. I would rather like protest and push what I think would be good, but I don't think I want to talk about politics. I don't want to be on like CNN or
Mhm.
MSNBC or anything. I don't want to be on those platforms. I would rather have my own show, do my own thing, and talk about them as I please, rather than sort of catering. I think with those sides, kind of they try to, at least at this point, try to cater to their base a little bit, and I'd rather just like grow my own brand and speak my opinions, and promote change that way. Because I talk about politics on my show all the time, but I don't like to think that I lean in any sort of direction. Maybe a little to the left, but
Yeah, that's good. That's fair. It's good. Maybe you'll gain enough followers and traction that people will listen to you, and it will create positive change anyway.
yeah, I just push for. I think for like it starts with like healthcare is a fucking mess. Like I had a car accident senior year of high school. I had a fracture in my finger, and I needed to get a surgery for it. And I didn't have insurance at the time, so they tried to charge me $7,000 for this. I have a little scar on my finger. You can see.
Yeah. Did you? I think on our last podcast we talked about that.
I did, and it trying to charge somebody like that 500,000 Americans every year file for bankruptcy because of medical bills. That's blasphemy to me. I don't know why it's like. I understand maybe there's complications with Medicare for all, blah blah blah. All these things that you hear from from the right, or even just from people who don't necessarily agree with healthcare for all. But in my opinion, if this is a free country like we say it is, everybody should have access to healthcare, whether you're a baby or you're 105 years old. Everybody should have it, no matter what age you are, what skin color you are, what where you are in the economic class. No matter where you are, you should be able to get access to what you need. For all I know, I could have a disease that I don't even know about, but I can't check because I'm not going to go and get a yearly checkup if I don't have insurance, because I can't afford to spend $600 to get a test. Or if I say, I get this rash on my arm and I want to check it out and see what's wrong with me, I can't do that because I don't have health insurance. So all these things that might pile up for the average American who doesn't have insurance, these things go unchecked because they're too scared to go to the doctor because they can't afford what it might cost them. I think that's disgusting, and that's the downside of this system that we're in now. It's easy to blame capitalism as a whole, but I think it's just the current state of it right now is pretty fucked.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, I just wish people had more empathy. Like in the end, it's not about it's like when you're on your deathbed and you're about to die, it's not going to be about how much money you made. It's not going to be how the stock market looked and how you traded and what wealth you accumulated. Like in the end of the day, like if you're a healthcare provider, I understand it's a business, but at the end of the day, like if you're a healthcare provider, you should be providing healthcare to the most people you can at the most affordable price. How it is today is prices are just so inflated that your average American, like you said, like a lot of people are going bankrupt because we live in a country where they can be provided care, but they're not. Uh, Healthcare is a right, in my opinion. Like the right, like if you live in a society where technology is advanced enough that you can receive care, then you should be allowed that care. I don't care if you're homeless. I don't care if you're the richest man on earth. Like you need to like we need to take care of our people. You know what I mean?
I don't think healthcare should be for profit.
Yeah.
Healthcare should be for every. It should that's the one. People always say, "Well, that's a socialist idea." It might be, but that's certain aspects of our country could have socialist ideologies without being totally socialist. And that's one of those things. Healthcare, it should be trying to cover it all for the common good. And honestly, there's this I watched this. Do you ever watch Adam Ruins Everything?
Yeah.
He has one about the healthcare system. He talks about how in every hospital they have this blue book, this I don't know what the exact word of it is, but essentially it's what it costs for them to produce whatever it might be, whether it's a pill or like surgeries or whatever, and then they have the rate at which they have to charge, which is like sometimes the markups are as high as like 5,000%.
Yeah.
I think healthcare could be a lot cheaper if we just try to cover the expenses rather than trying to make a profit off of it. Thanks for watching this clip from the Everything Under the Sun podcast. If you want to listen to the full podcast, you can go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you get your podcast. To watch more segments from the show, you can follow our Instagram page, our Facebook page, or subscribe to our YouTube channel at Everything Under the Sun.